Hi everybody, it's Darren here from Boss Components, just doing a video tutorial on how to put together basically our new magnetic pouches with inserts that we've done up. So I'll try to get through this as quickly as possible. This will just give you guys like a how to basically take it apart, how to put it back together again, some angles and stuff like that, right? So you can see exactly what it does. Obviously the box, no biggie there. So open that up there. So we've got the red one basically here. So I'll just go over a couple of things with this. So what you'll actually find in the box, what it should accompany with, is the couple of plastic PIM inserts, magnetic inserts in there. We'll get back to that later with those ones. You've also got like a hex key there too as well. This key is only really just to kind of chuck in your range bag. I kind of use basically other Torx ones basically to tighten stuff up, whatever. So, but this is just handy just to have in your bag, just if you want to basically nip it up, you know, if a screw is loose or whatever the case may be. So they're handy. We'll keep those in there, or take that out for a second. Put that back. Okay, so I'll just put that box aside. So pretty much, well guys, this is it. So it's our new design that we've done. It has the aluminium housing, also basically has a Delrin insert plastic with 3 magnetic magnets basically in there, and it's basically insert design. So I know this design is not new. It's not something basically we've developed or anything like that at all. It's literally been around for a while, whatever, but we just added it to our basically range from here. So with these magnets and that, so all you do is just basically just take out the screws and that there if you want to take them out, stuff like that. With the actual pull force and that, obviously some tubes are made out of different materials. So when you actually like slap the tube in here, if it starts feeling like basically it's really tight, right, like a lot of pull force, whatever, the good thing about this is you can actually take one of these magnets out and you just insert basically that Delrin plug that goes in there, and it will just basically minimize the pull force and stuff like that. I mean, and I would if I was going to take a magnet out, I would take the middle one out, say. So we've got the top one there and the bottom one there, right? So it's basically got a coverage as long, the full distance basically long, okay? Once again, I mean, it's personal preference. It's up to you what you want to do. You could basically take out the small one if you wanted to, and, you know, obviously just keep the 2 top ones there, and you'll be able to have the other plug for that. So that's a 16mm Delrin plug there, and there's a 20mm Delrin plug. So there's only one of each in there. Obviously, you can't take all 3 magnets out, otherwise it would be useless. So that's why you've only got the one of each in there to be able to swap around and change and whatever. Okay, so on the back here, you'll notice that it has some adjustability and stuff like that through here. And we'll get into that, basically taking that down as well. So what I might do is I'll just start basically just like take it down. And then you guys can kind of see, okay, what to do from here. So let's just completely strip it all down and that. So I'm just going to use basically like a couple of my Torx stuff that I've got here. Makes things a bit easier for me. And let's just start to do the takedown all together. So we'll just take off the 2 screws out the back there. And that's just basically sheet metal, right? Which obviously like belt goes through here, that goes over, locks in the screws, lock it down. But we'll get to that a little bit later. So let's put those there for now. For those, okay, let's in the back here, you'll notice there's 3 screws in the back basically here, right? So small screw here, M3 size from that one, and 2 larger screws from that. So that's the adjustability that you can actually move, which will go sideways and that. So what we'll do is we'll just take out, undo all these and take it apart. Didn't get that last one enough. And there's that one there. Okay, so that's just come apart at the moment. So I'll just take it apart so you can kind of see what that looks like. So you can see in there, the 3 screws basically in there. The system itself, how it works is the adjustments. You basically can actually turn and twist and that kind of stuff through here, right? And you'll notice basically underneath that the holes will line up and that with the screws and that kind of stuff depending. So that's where your adjustability comes from left to right, so to speak, whatever, being able to turn it like that on the belt. So if you wanted to have it so it was close to that kind of 90 for those people that want to grab from the front, or if you want to, you're in, say, for example, IPC open division, whatever it is, and you want to kind of like tweak and change whatever direction you want, you have the ability of doing so. So that's what they do there, putting that down at the moment, so keep those screws. So with this other part here, there's another screw which is here, a larger screw, and I'll just take that apart there. And this is the adjustability basically that will actually turn like clockwise, clockwise and anti-clockwise. So let's put that there. What we've done for this one here, we've actually made a teeth design, right? So this will give you very small incremental basically changes and stuff like that of the angles and that you need to set up like for yourself, for your own personal preference, right? So that's what that does there. I'll just keep it just straight down just for this tutorial here. But that's how you would actually take it apart, put it on your belt, and then work out kind of an angle that you want, or change it. And then once you work it out, basically, it's smooth sailing from there. So, okay, so pretty much let's take that apart there. And put that screw basically with that one there. 3 screws in the back which just fell out. We'll keep those ones there for the time being. The back basically here, 2 other screws which is just locking in the adjustable part there, right? So as far as why we do that for, I suppose we could have machined it like out of one piece and that kind of stuff. But as machinists would know as well, like it's a cost-effective thing for us to do. So what we did was basically we actually machined this part here, and then we just bolted on from there, right? So yeah, so I won't basically take those ones off, but as you can see, that piece just comes off and goes back on, right? The way to look at this if you get stuck is basically you want to have it so the blank part is up. Right, so if you've got it underneath and that kind of stuff where it's clearly different, when you put it together, it'll start making sense to you. So just visually look at one side and go, okay, that's how it looks, that's how it is. And when you start putting it back together again, it'll all make sense to you. Okay, now, so the insert 3 magnets, let's get those out. And obviously when you're torquing everything down, stuff like that, just you just want to nip stuff up, right? So you never ever want to kind of over torque everything like and start stripping screws and stuff like that, right? The other thing that is also handy too is, and a lot of us basically use it, is blue Loctite. So if you actually have blue Loctite or thread locker and that kind of stuff for screws, if you've got your kit set up and you're not going to do anything else like any other changes of that to it, you can put like a little bit of blue Loctite basically down, and that will just keep things like nice and snug and that. Try to stay away from red Loctite on these kind of things because it's more of that permanent, and then you need to actually heat it up to get the screws loose and stuff like that, and that can be very painful. And that, so okay, insert, and it comes out from that. Yep, so there's nothing special about that at all. It's literally just like the aluminium housing there, cut out coffin cut section there, and then we've got our Delrin insert special design that we've done that for ours to actually drop in there. They come basically in 3 sizes, so you'll see on the side there's like small from that. There's also basically another one, medium, so just the small ones there. That's going to fit like say 1911 insert and stuff like that, right? Medium size, and that's going to fit say CZ, Tan Foglio, and other variants basically like that as well. Obviously, as we start working out all the other lists and stuff like that, we'll just keep at them. But the general ones are CZ, 10th, Voglio, things like that. And then you've basically got the large one there, which is a for your 2011 double stack magazines, and that, so STI, Staccato, SVI, things of that nature there, right? And there's also clones and that kind of stuff as well of these ones. So there's going to be a lot of actually different models out there that we may not know, but that will actually fit them as well, right? So. There is a measurement on the online store there which tells you what the maximum is and stuff like that, so you can kind of look at it, get your calipers out, and actually measure your magazine tube, and then kind of check to see which one's going to suit you. But at the end of the day, if you do have any struggles and stuff like that trying to work things out, I mean, there's an email. You send us through an email, and we'll try to help you out the best we can from that. So, okay, so that's the insert. That's pretty much for the whole thing stripped down, right? So. Sitting in there and that. So putting it together, guys. So pretty much, well, let's start to put it together. Let's say, for example, you did have it all broken down like that, and you're going, what the hell? Like, how do I put it back together again? Let's just start from simples. Okay. First thing, what we want to do is we want to reinstall the insert. So basically, take the insert. For this purpose here, we'll just take out the 1911 and we'll chuck in the now let's chuck in the large one, like for a 2011, right? Real simple, guys. Insert basically just drops in and stuff like that. And then we start putting the magnets in to actually lock those down. So we can put that in. First 21, second one in there. Oh, that's something basically I should actually point out as well, guys. Why is there the tiny little holes which are sitting in there? People are going to be wondering what they are, right? So what they are there for is literally if the magnets, and they shouldn't ever, but let's say, for example, an anomaly where a magnet basically gets really tight and you actually can't get it out, you'll be able to come around the back and that kind of stuff with like a little pin and just press the pin, which will actually then start to press the magnet out, right? So that's all those little holes are in there for. So that will just basically help. I have had magnets of other models from other places and stuff like that where they're really tight, whatever, and I couldn't get them out. So I just went, we'll put that in there for ours to make things a bit more easier. Okay, so other magnets, let's put that in there. And then that 16 small one there. So as soon as you get that in, okay, in there. All right. Obviously, then we want to tighten it up. So best to basically just nip that up for the time being. Okay. So that's the first thing done, guys, right? Okay, so that's all in there. Once again, you can grab a screw, your Torx, stuff like that, and just basically nip it up tight. Don't over torque them, stuff like that. You start stripping screws, whatever. So, and like we said before, a little bit of blue Loctite if you really wanted to, and you could still actually undo them with that blue Loctite as well, right? So that's why we would use that. Okay, so that's the first thing there. Let's put that 1911 one away. Okay, then we want to get into basically our angle ones, okay? So I'm just going to basically just keep it straight up, straight down, just to keep things easy for the tutorial, whatever. But you can understand, you've got those angle changes that you can basically make to tweak and turn. And that's when you guys can just basically just work that out for yourselves on what you want to do. So let's take that other screw, put that in there, and let's lock that down there. Okay, so that's basically done, and that's done there, right? Okay, I'll leave off the sheet metal part for a second. Okay, so angles and that. So best thing to do when you're putting it together is turn it upside down. So you've got the BC logo up the top there. I found that to be the easiest way of trying to work it out. So keep the BC logo up top on the main housing. And then basically on the angle bar, stuff like that, you wanna have it so it's the flat side. So obviously not the cutout section, that moon shape from that, but basically the flat end from that. And if you go underneath and stuff like that, you'll be able to see the holes line up, the 3 holes, whatever, right? Now, the first thing what I do is I make sure that I put the M3 one in first, that first one in there. So get the smaller one, drop that in, and so I'll just turn this around to make it easier for myself. And then we want to basically just put it over there and just screw that first one up, right? So you need 2 hands basically for this one. So this is a bit of a, just to grab it. Okay, sorry, that was just a little bit off screen with both the hands there, but okay. So once it's in there, obviously we can turn this around and that. So the full angle you'll get is by only basically having 2 screws, which is going to be a little bit weird for you to understand. But as you can see, if you want the full rotation around one way, you'll see look, there's only the one hole there that lines up basically to be able to put the bigger screw through, right? But trust me when I say the 2 screws, this one and that one there, once they're nipped up and tight, it ain't going anywhere, right? It's not moving. Ultimately, if you wanted to go the other way, the other angle and stuff like that, you'll see the other hole basically closes off, and then the other hole becomes visible on that side over here. And then once again, you can just put that other screw in there, lock those 2 down. If you're having it like straight, obviously, just straight basically, and that on the side, you've got all 3 here. So what we'll do is we basically, once again, just for the purpose of this tutorial, let's just keep it all 3 in there for the time being. But you can actually have that 2 or that 2 over there, depending on what you want to do, right? The angles. So let's put all of them back in there just to make things easy. And once again, it's going to be like a 2-hand job with the... As soon as here we go. Sorry guys, I'm just off camera again just to get that screw in there. Okay, that's probably the reason why. It's because I'm not using the right, say, Torx bit there. Okay, so there's that. And then we'll go in the other one there. Okay, so once again, once we got that, just looking over it. Okay, and then obviously, you know, you can get a bit of adjustability out of those 3 screws like that, depending on what you want. But if you want to go like fully around and stuff like that, whatever it is, you'll only be having those 2 screws. So I'll just keep things like straight and still at the moment and just basically nip those up. And let's just do that small one as well. Okay, once that's done, that's pretty much really it for the main housing, right? So it's nice and easy from that point. The back strap and that for locking the belt down, that just sits over the top there. And then we basically put the 2 screws in and then lock that down, okay? So let's basically, I'll take that out for the time being. And yeah, so I've just got a piece of belt basically here, just to show you, like, you know, it goes on, but you can see, obviously, with all the angles, stuff like that, you'll be able to get the angles that rotate around for that way, rotate that way, and then you'll be able to, like, with those teeth, turn it like clockwise or anti-clockwise, and that's basically a 360. Not that you definitely need that, because obviously your mags will be hanging out the bottom, but it does have the ability of doing that for that. So from there, basically, you'll just put the back on, just for the people who may not know how to do this for a first time. Screws go into the back, and once again we just kind of nip that up, and snip that up there, and then from there basically I can just give it more of a tweak and stuff like that if I really wanted to. Okay. And that's pretty much it, guys. So as you can see, basically, if it was bent around, you can have all the angle changes that you wanted to it. That goes in there. So if we just want to quickly like change out, put one of those coming back to where we were before, the plastic ones, and let's say, for example, you know, we're going to take out the middle one. Okay, so let's just randomly select the middle one. So from there, basically, what we'll do here is we'll take out the screw again, just in the center there. Comes out from that. And then what you do there, guys, is you basically keep the same screw, right? So that screw will come out, the magnet will go down, the POM basically, that will just sit over that. And then you'll be able to put that in there. And as you can see from that, right, that becomes complete flush again, okay? And then from there, we can just tighten that up. And then from that, you've basically got like a Delrin insert, and you can kind of tweak and change whatever and have whatever preference of pull force you want with those magnets and that. So yeah, that's a good thing about those. So that's that, guys. I'll leave that magnet basically there. Colors and stuff like that. So obviously, you know, we've got a few different colors to choose from. We have our red there, so I'll put that aside. And then from there, we basically got a titanium, so like titanium grey color from that. So there's that one. Then from there, we've always got like the normal black that you've got. So there's black basically from that. We have a orange as well. So orange color from that. So we got that one there. Let's move that magnet now actually. Then from that one there, we've got purple. So purple to choose from as well. Let's put that there. And then we've got our blue. So our blue color that we've got as well. And so so we had the red, which was basically on that, but let's just put that there for the time being. And then the lucky last one there we've got is a emerald green. So, which I really like that color. So it's a nice emerald green color and that. So that's the colors we've got to choose from, guys. That's pretty much all it for the video. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to send us an email at sales@bosscomponents.com.au, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks a lot. Take care.